Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. Surprise, surprise. We're talking about American single malts and Tombstone, Arizona.
Tombstone, Arizona is a place that I have wanted to visit since the 90s.
Yes.
Since forever. Tombstone, one of my favorite movies of all time. And we actually watched that movie on the iPad in Tombstone because it just seemed like the right thing to do.
Kurt Russell, Val Kilmer, what an all-star cast. It was fun. Very 90s.
But what was cool about it was that we discovered, and we'll get into some of this a little bit later, a lot of what was in that movie is still there in Tombstone. What a cool spot. And speaking of cool things, today we're drinking an American single malt whiskey. It's Redwood Empire Foggy Burl. I hope you can see that there. This is single malt whiskey, 100% malted barley, toasted in char number 3 on the cask. The proof is 94, and this is batch number 1. So Redwood Empire from California. We've been big fans of a lot of what they've done. The labels are always fantastic, and we're excited to get into this one. Obviously, we've done a little bit of damage. We don't like to do a tasting on a brand new bottle, so we've been getting after this a little bit. Now, before we get into it, Julie, I had a ton of work to do, but Julie decided that she was going to go for a run. We had no idea where she was going. You went out onto Bureau of Land Management property and just went for it.
I did. I felt very brave.
Well, I'm impressed, and I'm so excited to see what you came up with. I haven't seen this yet. Let's take a look. The Julie cam. Let's see how she did.
Off for a trail run today. We're in the wild, wild west. Welcome to Tombstone. Oh man, I wish Phil was able to come on this hike/run that I'm doing today. I think this may be just an old house or homestead. Maybe it's an old building. You could see the old aqueduct in the background. The views are just spectacular. He's obsessed with history. We're having the best time in Tombstone. I can't wait to learn more about this cute little town. What in the world? I'm just walking back here. It says that I'm allowed to be back here, but I was just walking past and there's this little door over here. And then if we scoop around, you probably can't read it, but it says dynamite. You can't really see it, but look, Phil and Mavis are right there. So I'm not gonna go much further. Safety is always number one on my mind when I'm out here running by myself, especially. I don't know what is back here. I don't know what to find. So I'm just gonna turn around and retrace my steps. And I hope you enjoyed this little taste of Tombstone, behind Tombstone, on the trails.
Well, you are impressive.
Thank you. I wish that you were out there. The scenery was great. You were up in the hills. You could see the whole city. You could see the mountains in the distance. There was weird, mining things that were probably shut down years ago, but it was just a fun experience. A little bit wild out there. There's no people.
You love the nature. I generally love the history a little bit more, but we both enjoy the experience of trail running in funny, strange places, and that certainly seems strange to me. Now, should we get out of this whiskey?
We should, and one of our most anticipated finds of the trip so far.
Yeah, this was actually my anticipated bottle of the year. Heard about it from everybody, including our friend Marty from Whiskey Nose. So, when we finally tracked it down, we were pretty hyped for it. So let's get on to the nose here.
One of the harder single malts to pronounce.
Foggy Burl.
The Burl always gets me.
I think of Burl Ives, just Christmas music.
Oh, yeah, I don't think of that. It smells surprisingly sweet.
Yeah, there's a lot to like here on the nose. I think that there's honey, there's a ton of chocolate, milk chocolate. There's an earthy presence here, though, too.
Yeah, I'm getting a little fruit juice, almost like a little apricot, or I said apricot. I never say that.
You never say it that way.
Apricot or a peach juice. you can get whatever you want on the nose.
Right, some cocoa powder, and I'm ready to drink this thing.
Cheers. It's an interesting one for me.
A little spicy at 94 proof.
What I get from this is a strong sense of chocolate.
Mm-hmm, yep.
And spiciness. So jalapenos or some sort of pepper note.
Yeah.
It's just really strange. And we've gotten this note on other bottles before. Not
Sure.
Redwood Empire, but just other brands.
Sure.
It's just a weird drink for me.
I agree. Yeah, and I don't know if it's jalapeno, but it's definitely some sort of spicy green pepper, the way that it comes through. Then again, the chocolate that's coming through here is milk chocolate fudge. I mean, it is the fudgiest whiskey I think maybe I've ever tasted. There's a honey component there. The oak takes a bit of a back seat. I don't get a ton of oak on this.
Yeah.
It's an interesting whiskey, like you said. I think I want another sip.
Yeah. I feel like I'm so distracted by the chocolatiness, and fudge is the right term to say for this because that fudginess goes on and on. The finish is really great on this. That chocolatey note just kind of lingers around, and it is delicious, very desserty.
It reminds me of all the little shops that we've gone in on this road trip. Everybody's got homemade fudge. That smell that even if you don't buy it, we haven't bought any yet, it gets in your senses. It's stuck in there. Again, the honey, some vanilla, some coffee for sure.
So here's my thing about this bottle.
Okay.
It costs $100.
Right, we didn't say that yet. $99 is the MSRP on this.
That's a lot of money.
So much money.
And if you're not experienced in single malts, which I'm just starting to dabble in, I drink this and I'm not getting any of that honey. I'm not getting the coffee. I'm not getting the oak. All I'm getting is that spicy jalapeno chocolate.
Aha.
And for me, knowing that it costs $100, it's kind of a hard drink to swallow.
Yeah, wow. Hey, I
like
like
that?
when you said that. The reason that we fell in love with Redwood Empire was that their bottles, which showed up in Oregon for $39.99, elsewhere we found them for $29.99. Emerald Giant Rye, Pipe Dream Bourbon, Lost Monarch, the Boo Rye. We love that whiskey so much. And at $30, it's a tremendous value because they're all big flavors. This, as unique and tasty as it is, I don't think it's that much better than those whiskeys. And like you said, I mean, so many American single malts out there, $60, $70 that we've been really enjoying.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, we found one a couple of days ago that's going to be on a future video for $75, and it was 116 proof. Again, this 94 proof, non-age stated. So it's really a tough drink to swallow, as you put it. And I completely agree. I love you, Redwood Empire. I love your labels. I love every whiskey I've tried from you. But this one, price-wise, I think this is a one and done for me.
Definitely try before you buy. It's a really high price point, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. And they didn't make a lot of this, so
Right.
definitely demand is part of the situation here.
Or find a friend.
Or find a friend. Yeah, absolutely. If you can try it elsewhere, I highly recommend that as well. And on a brighter note,
Yeah.
let's have a look at Tombstone, Arizona. We spent, I think, 4 days there, and on the final afternoon that we were there, it seemed like town cleared out. It was a Monday. We finally had an opportunity to just wander the city kind of by ourselves, which was fantastic. Let's have a look.
So right on this corner is where the shootout at the OK Corral happened, and the story in the October 27, 1881 issue of the Tombstone Epitaph, yesterday's tragedy, 3 men hurled into eternity in a duration of a moment, the causes that led to the sad affair.
It's pretty intense. great was that?
It was so fun. I was skeptical, I'll be honest. Phil really wanted to go to Tombstone. I'm like, it's going to be so touristy, and it totally was. So you should go in expecting it to be super touristy, probably overpriced, all of the things. But some of those old bars were still there. There's nothing I love better than sitting in just like an old, early, 100-year-old, all wood. It looks cool. You feel like you're going back in time kind of bar. And I just love going there, having a drink or two, and just sitting and enjoying and people watching.
Well, and it's so fun when everybody there is wearing period
Oh my
accurate
gosh,
outfits.
they looked
The people-
great.
Yeah, the bartenders and the everybody coming around to the tables. It was so fun. And yeah, what more can you say? Big Nose Kate's was a nice surprise.
Yep. The food was delicious.
We just had such a fun time there exploring every nook and cranny that Tombstone had to offer. It's not a big place. You don't need a ton of time there, but the time that we spent there was well worth it. We had a great time.
And something I learned, if you're interested in getting down with the locals, or at least the locals of the 1800s, Old Overholt is Doc Holliday's favorite drink.
Yes, who knew? Doc Holliday, Old Overholt, they were probably alive at the same time for all I know. One other place that we went to when we were in Tombstone was just southeast of there. It was an easy drive. It was the town of Bisbee, Arizona.
Feeling pretty good this time. I can see the leaves are smiling red and June gold. The wind starts moving in. It's like I'm living in the stories of old. Well, I can hear the poets calling out in the forest. They're wishing me well. Those bards of bygone times are guiding me on one road. I'm traveling on with two friends.
What I really liked about it, it did feel really old school. It was brightly colored. I loved that it was in the mountains. The views were beautiful. There was tons of restaurants, bars. We had a beer. But there was also this really amazing mine nearby.
Oh, yeah.
And what really made us want to go there is not really the historic quality of it, which I guess the mine is, but the pictures of this mine were mind-blowing.
Yeah, so we went to Bisbee for the giant hole in the ground. I got to be honest, I was skeptical, but it was worth it. We had so many people tell us to go to Bisbee because it's such a cute little town. It honestly seems like it's having a bit of a resurgence. New shops, new restaurants, things going in there. So if you're in the neighborhood, why not? Go to Bisbee, Arizona, and check it out. We had a lot of fun there. Tombstone was absolutely fantastic. This whiskey is
Delicious.
It's delicious, even if it's a bit pricey. So there you go, the Bourbon Van, another week on the road from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. So chocolatey.
So chocolatey.
Been here before and when. Give me strange lands, songs I never heard sung before. Give me warm hands, hold me when I'm feeling unsure. One road, two friends, three words, and four winds. One road, we're traveling on with our friends. We're going around.
Join us next week. We're going to a new state and we're drinking Colcagan whiskey.
Have we been here before?